Nigeria has left us empty. We can be wiped out any day. Let us have our own state. Lori Ogbebo. Prominent rights activist and elder statesman Chief Victor Lori Ogbebo has issued a passionate appeal to the federal government, calling for the urgent creation of an Ishekiri state in Delta state to create state again. For what? What are they creating a state for? She made the call during a press briefing in Lagos where she expressed deep concern over what she described as the marginalization and land encroachment faced by her people in Warri South local government area. According to the Sun Nigeria, Chief Lori Ogbebo strongly criticized the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) for excluding the original landowners, the Ogisi Odion family, in the recent ward delineation exercise in the area. She alleged that the land was wrongfully allocated under the supervision of an Ijaw official, Professor Rhoda Gums, accusing her of acting in favor of non-indigenous interests. Okay, when you see her wrongfully allocating, why didn't you say something? And you just kept quiet until they wrongfully allocated. Lori Ogbebo also raised alarm over what she perceives as a growing security threat linked to Tantita Security Service, that's in Tompolo. Allegedly backed by ex-militant leader Government Ekpemokpolo Tompolo, she accused the company of illegally planting flags on ancestral Ishekiri lands, urging the Inspector General of Police to intervene and prevent violence. Wow. In her emotional closing remarks, she urged President Bola Tinubu and the National Assembly to consider the establishment of an Ishekiri state, drawing comparison with states created for other ethnic groups. She said, "My President, Nigeria has left us empty and can be wiped out any day. We appeal, suggest and implore His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the National Assembly, the Senate President, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives that the case of an Ishekiri state be urgently and strongly considered and granted." I don't understand Ishekiri state. Let the Ishekiri people have their own state on their land, like the case of Ijaw in Bayelsa and others, separate from Ijaw and the Yoruba. Okay, I don't know who is going to be ready to build a state at this point in time. At Ajeta Odogo says, this woman is known for her wayward and provocative stance when it comes to ethnic issues in Delta State. She stays in the comfort of Lagos, but continues to be an agent provocateur mainly on hearsays. One expects her to talk of how her king, the Olu of Ishekiri, is linked to an armed smuggler and dealers to foment crisis in Warri Division. She forgot how a very small minority crying of being marginalized were able to produce a governor in Delta State, a state there particularly herself vehemently opposes. I don't know about that too. Which Olu of Ishekiri is linked to armed smuggler? It is well. Mba Chukwu Neke says Nnamdi Kalu is a prophet. Indeed, he is. Guy Richardi says the Ishekiri state to exclude the Yoruba and Ijaw communities will just be like a village, not even up to a local government area. It is well. Choke Victor says, which type of preaching is this? You might be making a point. Very funny. But your face don't spoil everything. Leave her face alone. In the Edesi says, where they won't create states for this Warri South, but you don't even enter Warri South or Warri before. The Shekiri are not even up to 500,000 or 1,000,000. So you want part Okere market to some parts of the NPA, Ubangwe, Ubeji, Ife, Madino and Ogidigbe to be a state. Place when no even reach to create local government. We are talking about state. All these our so-called elders, they create problem for us, we the children. Wake up, exactly. How will you want to create a state for a community that has less than 500 people? Why? That's wrong. Your dad later says many of them would not like the fine colors God has given them. And some men are doing it all, so they will want to change it. At the end, many of them will return to masquerade. People should leave her alone, please. Leave her alone. While Roland said, Madam, your people may be opposition to Admiral People's Congress. That's their way of playing politics these days. You can see how other governors are joining and packing up their party that brought them to light. Only God knows where we are heading to these days. Possibly one party system, maybe. Of course, now we are heading to a one party system. That's the gist. That's where we are heading to. Alade Adekola says it would have been better if she makes this in her hometown. Olumide says the money wey she suppose take invest in business, she don go use am buy bleaching cream finish. People have problem. People should leave somebody alone. Leave her alone. Igwe Simon says, where is Nana of Ishekiri? Is Warri your ancestral home? Where is Koko? Where is Sapele? The Yorubas allowed is hence you now hear of Olu of Warri. Trace your origin. So they say make you trace your origin now. Onyekere Okezie says, if I have my way, Nigeria will go back to when we have only at most or less than 12 states. Creating more states is one of the biggest problems that have affected the growth and development of the country. Exactly. Creating states, meanwhile there is no money, there is nothing to build these states that people are creating. No money. This scenario is working to a man with salary of 20k, but keeping bearing children after having 10 children, which 20k will not be enough to feed. We have major resources as oil and 36 states to feed from it as children, and we want more creation of states as intended more children to produce. You still want to produce more children. Very funny. Ogbonna Vivian says, a little here, a little there, yet you want a state to be cited where precisely? So now Shekiri state. It is well. Oba Progress says the Ishekiris are just in small parts called Warri. Excuse me, there are other Urhobos and Ijaw communities around Warri, Sapele, Ogele, and many other big cities are all Urhobos and Okpe. So is it only that small community settlement that will be called a state? I don't know. Don't know. Abdulrasaq says, now the skin encroachment that I'm seeing, is it the handiwork of a makeup artist or the result of bleaching? People should move on with your life. I believe we can learn from other people's experience. We don't have to wait for things to get to us before we start looking for solution. Oh, thank you. We've heard your advice. And listeners, over to you. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for listening. See you some other time. Bye.